Let's talk about what to expect this week in the world of astrology. If you're new here, hi, my name is Natalie Dadre. I traded an almost 20-year career in the field of mental health to teach you everything that I know about astrology. The first thing I wanted to mention that I'm sure you've probably already noticed is the tension in the air. Have you noticed the anger in the air? Have you noticed that everyone seems to be a little irritable? Easily annoyed, easily frustrated? Have you yourself been feeling anxious, angry, sad, or just feeling all over the place with your emotions? That is all Scorpio energy. We're in a very heavy Scorpio period right now, especially with the new moon in Scorpio. Um, what we're having is a lot of energy that is intense, energy that is provocative, energy that is determined to find out the truth at all costs, and energy that is looking for a war. The season is about planting new seeds, it's about setting new goals so that we can manifest a new reality. Those of you that are not new to spirituality know that the new moon is all about turning the page and starting over. In order to start over, we have to be clear about where we want to go. You see, the thing with manifestation is that it's not enough to just say what we want. To be able to effectively manifest, we have to choose our vibration. We have to set our intentions on what we want. It's not about the words that leave our mouths, it's about what's in our heart. It's about how we feel about that thing and how we feel about ourselves. So, in other words, if I want, let's say I want to manifest in, I don't know, a new car. If I want to manifest a new car, I have to envision myself in that new car and I have to start living as if I was already in that new car. So, the energy that I'm bringing now is one of ease because I've already accepted this new reality. So, there's no tension, there's nothing being forced. There's nothing being dragged. There's no argument. It's merely, me waiting for that energetic vibration that I've put out to manifest in the physical realm. Okay. So when the new moon comes around, what we do, those of us that are in spirituality, is we set new intentions. We determine new goals that we want to live for. And then we intensely focus on that. When this is happening during the time of Scorpio, it's a great time to manifest a new reality because Scorpio is all about what? Birth and death. Scorpio is about death and rebirth. So when you enter Scorpio season, this very heavy Scorpio season, there's a determination to succeed. So naturally, there's going to be conflict that comes with that. So anything that does not align with our new framework, our new vision, our new goal, our new purpose in life, we're ready to do away with it. And we're ready to confront it head on so that we can get to the bottom line. And the bottom line is that we're not available for anything other than what we've set our intentions on. That's pretty much how it works. So, Scorpio as a zodiac sign is naturally aggressive in terms of being provocative, naturally about unearthing what's hidden, naturally about calling out bullshit for what it is, and naturally about finding out what the truth is. Scorpio is a natural researcher. Scorpio is a natural FBI and CIA agent wrapped up in one. Scorpio will find out what Scorpio needs to find out. And the thing about Scorpio is they're not afraid of what they find. They're very much so interested in the truth, whatever that looks like, whether it's a happy truth, a sad truth, a bitter truth, it doesn't matter. What they care about, though, is that things be exactly how they're being represented. And one of Scorpio's pet peeve is when things aren't. It's, when people put up a facade, when people try to present things one way, but they're really another way. So during the season, we're going to be very impatient when it comes to people trying to snow us, people trying to waste our time, people trying to put roadblocks towards us manifesting our goals. So anything that does not align with the goals that we set at the new moon, we're going to be ready to confront that and hit that head on because there's very little patience during the season for anything that does not align. Okay? Scorpio is a naturally very possessive zodiac sign. This is why often in partnerships, Scorpio cannot partner with people that they cannot imprint on. If Scorpio is not able to take possession of your soul somehow, Scorpio is not really willing to partner with you because Scorpio needs to have dominance when they do partnership. So the same thing is true when Scorpio is manifesting. When Scorpio manifests, it's like they're marrying that dream. And once Scorpio has done a spiritual wedding celebration with that goal and that dream, they're not willing to settle for anything other than that outcome. To make matters worse, on November 20th, we're going to be having our first quarter of the moon. In astrology, the quarter of a moon is a season that brings tension, okay? And the reason for that tension is because at the new moon, we set our intentions. We said, this is what I want. This is my new request. This is my new desire. The quarter of a moon is when we start to assess how we're traveling towards that new destiny, that new journey, right? There's a desire to reflect on how well we're coming along and what needs to change or what needs to be eliminated so we can get to it. So that naturally means we're going to have to confront some parts of ourselves that are standing in the way of our own happiness, or confront some parts in others that are doing that for us. So the quarter of a moon is just enough of movement with the lunar cycle for us to feel like we're kind of seeing a little bit of the progress that we've made. And if we've and we start then judging that progress, meaning, is it enough? Is it too little? What do we need to do to change it so it can be just what we want it to be? Unfortunately, because we're not at the full moon yet, which is when we have the full illumination, because the full moon is when we see the full picture, because that's when the moon is fully lit. So at the quarter of the moon, we're just at the very beginning. So we don't have the full range of insight, the full view on where we're headed, but we're already feeling compelled to kind of reflect on where we're headed. So if we find that we've taken a couple of steps because of our insecurities, if we fall into old patterns because of our insecurities, or if we're not making progress as quickly as we would like, this is going to be a time of emotional tension. We're going to have this conflict within us around that. The other thing that the quarter of the moon brings is that it makes us want to take action. Because remember, the new moon is all about starting over. So when you get to that quarter of the moon, you want to see what was the result of that starting over. So you've set these new intentions, you planted these new seeds. What does that look like? What did you do? What's happened last week that made you move that needle forward a little bit? And because we're still in Scorpio season, as you know, Scorpio is a very critical zodiac sign. Scorpio is highly observant. Scorpio is also highly intuitive. So if you've been bullshitting on yourself and not really doing the things that you said you were going to do, if you've been not really making the progress that you said you're going to make, Scorpio energy is going to keep you accountable because Scorpio knows nobody's coming to rescue you. This life is not a game for Scorpio. Scorpio is very serious and Scorpio is very intense. And Scorpio knows at the end of the day, all that they've got is themselves. Nobody's going to come do it for them. This much they know. So if you've been bullshitting yourself and you haven't been working on these goals like you said you were going to be, there's going to be a lot of guilt, perhaps shame around that, and internal frustration. So you may notice that in yourself and other people. This is a great time to practice some stress management coping skills because this sort of tension, this drive to want to succeed and to want to see results and to feel super confident towards your goal may need to be tempered with the reality, which is that sometimes things take time and you don't have the full vision yet because we're not yet at the full moon. So I want to encourage you to resist the urge to judge yourself harshly, to set unreasonable goals that you're not able to meet right now, and resist the urge to allow yourself to fall into a deep depression because things aren't manifesting the way you want them to. Instead, use this time to be motivated, to be a go getter, to go after the things you want, to set small, manageable goals and to work towards them so that at the end of each day you feel accomplished because that is what's going to keep you going. It's not you beating yourself down.